Hi guys, welcome back to Prem Talk. Yet another video, and this is going to be my review of our 2-2 draw with Ipswich Town on Sunday night. I took a while before I did this video because after watching the game, I wanted to go back, do a bit of rewatching, see a few things that I probably would have missed out while watching the game, and just also watch the extended highlights just to get a few more details that I may have missed during the game. So uh, I did that, and I think I've just finished that today. And this is my official eventual review of how and why we ended up dropping points. Welcome, and let's start off with the review of Sunday's 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge with Ipswich Town. Now, don't get me wrong, but it was a poor result. A point gained, but very crucial 2 points dropped because, as mentioned previously, we are in a bit of a dogfight for the Champions League spots, which are now up to fifth spot confirmed. So there are three spots up for grabs and possibly four because, as mentioned, I still have a small thin belief that we may actually end up finishing second. Guaranteed three spots up for grabs in the Champions League races and uh, a possible fourth up there, depending on if Arsenal end up dropping out and whatnot. So this is a review, sadly, of points dropped game against Ipswich Town. We started off well. First 15 minutes, very wonderful football, created three good open chances. But as the story of Chelsea's season has always gone, we missed our chances. Uh, very big chances were created, chances were missed. Madueke, a culprit there. Nico Jackson, a huge culprit there. Enzo Fernandez, too, missed a chance. Pedro Neto did miss, a bit of a chance, but his was in the second half. And after the first 15 minutes of good football and uh, good chances created but missed, we ended up conceding on a dangerous counter. We concede a counter, and then Siso somehow finds himself between Tosin and Colwell, who I do not know what they were doing, but they seem to do a lot of ball watching, and none of them were aware of where Julio Enciso is. So that's 1-0 to Ipswich Town. And then we lost our heads completely. Ipswich took control of the game, started creating now more and even more dangerous chances. I remember Jens Kajust, the midfielder, did take a shot that just escaped the far bottom right corner of the net. So they continued to pile a bit of pressure on us, and they end up getting the second goal. And it's from another counter, cheap ball loss in the middle of the park. And all of a sudden, Enciso is free on the left hand side of the D, and he crosses into uh, an incoming Ben Johnson, who towers over Marco Correa to head in the second goal for Ipswich Town. And all of a sudden, Chelsea are in big trouble because in a must-win game, we are already 2-0 down in a first half, and we did start the second half really quickly. Nice to get an early goal, an own goal. I'll come back to the goal because we need to have a serious discussion as to why Marco Correa's box movement is far much better than all our attackers combined, if we are being honest. So Noni Madueke receives the ball down on the right wing, and passes his man. As I've always said, Noni will never disappoint when it comes to dribbling past his markers. He gets past his man and delivers a dangerous low cross that came into the box, and he finds Marco Correa, who I believe forced an own goal because the goal ended up being chalked in as an own goal for Twanzebe. So uh, we make it 2-1, and then Jadon Sancho, for the first time at least in a long, long while, I believe, since Southampton at home, he shoots, and that's what I love to see more of Jadon Sancho do. So Sancho makes it 2-2, and despite a strong, spirited end to the game, we did create, I believe, three more dangerous opportunities to score, but the Ipswich goalkeeper Alex Palmer did produce magnificent saves. First to deny Palmer, the second one, I believe, to deny Trevor Chalobah from point blank range. Up to now, I honestly don't believe how he did score that goal, but let's credit the keeper for that. And then another save to deny Enzo Fernandez at the death. So that's how the game went, ending in a disappointing 2-2. In a disappointing 2-2 draw at home to Ipswich Town. And going back, as we seriously examine this game, because I saw a lot of things that in that first half, especially, that did not impress me at all. From that is 16th minute after we had our dominant spell and Ipswich scored their first goal. So between that first goal and the end of half time, and at half time, we Chelsea did not turn up, and we were a lot nervous. I could literally see the nerves in the players. Players were, second guessing themselves, losing the ball cheaply in midfield. Uh, Players did not know where to make runs to, who to pass to. They just looked all over the place. So uh, that was really, really worrying, very worrying for honestly for what I had to see. And I did learn a lot because if there's one thing that uh, this from last season that I took is that this team is young, yes, and because we are not going to be buying, experienced players in the transfer windows, so the players that are coming, the young players will have to build their experience as the season goes by. So you could see the nerves, creeping, especially after the first goal went in, and after that, the nerves were fully kicked into the players. As I've mentioned, players second guessing themselves, not knowing when to pass, missing out on opportunities to play others through. We did create more chances, but players sleeping because major culprit in that was Noni Madueke, who found himself free just around 6-7 yards away from goal, all alone, and he slipped, and sadly the ball granted it went behind him, so he did slip, and the chance came and went. So uh, I was really, really worried, especially in our ball retention, our ball possession. I was really worried about that because we conceded a lot. I believe from that 16th minute to 45th, we did concede the majority of Ipswich chances that they had, and it was so worrying, honestly, because it looked as if the players did not know who they were and who their teammates were. But really encouraged by what I saw in the second half because we started off quick. Madueke doing his thing, taking on his man, and the first point that I'm going to talk about here is it'll come as a question as to why on earth are we crossing the ball high, because we have nobody that can head the ball. If we are being honest, there's no person in the team that can head the ball as an out and out number nine, and score goals with his head. I believe the only player that can do that in the entire squad is McGee, who's injured. So I do not understand why when he's not in the team, which is more often than not, that we cross the ball high. I wonder who we are crossing it to. So that has to stop. Maresca has to get into the players more in the training ground to learn to do more of low crosses, because those low crosses are dangerous, more dangerous than the high crosses. Because if you're going to put in high crosses, there are defenders there who that is meat and drink to them. It's what they are paid to do. They'll clear that all day long, but play the ball hard and low, and those are far much more difficult crosses to defend. So that's something that the team is going to have to improve on. And then the second thing is this: the mentality of the team. And this is also going to cross into, as I also speak about the fans. The mentality of the team is uh, is fragile, very fragile, and that is not helped by the fact that we have fans that are, let me use the word, spoiled and entitled at times with the atmosphere that is around at Stamford Bridge. It's acceptable for the criticisms to come from Twitter as the game is going on, and on X, sorry, as the game is going on and whatnot. But when the fans on the ground air out their lack of trust, onto the team, and bearing in mind this is a young team, what tends to happen is the nerves now even get more in furthermore into those players, because they are young players. None of them is highly experienced. Now, the only person we can say that is close to experience, not even that experienced, is Robert Sanchez. But the problem is Robert Sanchez is like, anytime he's in goal, if you honestly see the way he plays like a young toddler. Okay, uh, with all due respect, he does play like a young toddler at times who's kicking a ball, and is excited, when the ball is at his feet, because he tends to do a lot of needless, over exuberant passes, and always the wrong type of passes that don't help the team and put the team under pressure. And if that is being done by your most experienced player actually in the 11 and in the squad, so that is even more scarier, because it doesn't help the team, it doesn't help the defense, it doesn't help the midfield, and it doesn't help, definitely does not help the attackers, because we, as established now, we do play out from the back. The play, our football always starts from the goalkeeper, going from back to front, goalkeeper, defense, into midfield, into the attackers. But if the keeper is, fiddling around with the ball at the back, losing it cheaply, the opposition get far much more easier. opportunities to counter us, and high are the chances that we end up conceding. So, as a recommendation, my best recommendation will be to give Philip Jorgensen an opportunity. Let him be the first choice keeper up to when the season ends. Because if there's one thing that I did mention this in a previous video that Philip Jorgensen has over Robert Sanchez, his playing out from the back is far much more secure than what Robert Sanchez offers. Uh, he is more he is more skillful with the passes. He is more in tune with how the players move, and more importantly, the position of the players that he's playing with. So it will be beneficial to the team that we have him in goal for the Premier League games, and I believe it will also help Robert Sanchez that if he is the Conference League goalkeeper, because that's the only cup competition we are left in, and we end up winning the trophy with him, that's even further more confidence in his game, the confidence in himself. So that is going to help him further a lot, because if he in goal ends up helping us win a trophy, it'll further help him along. Although at this point, even me, I've given up on him and would want him to get sold in the summer, but it'll be a huge spring in his step that he is able to win a trophy in goal for Chelsea Football Club. So the best thing I believe that Maresca could do is play Philip Jorgensen for the Premier League games and play Robert Sanchez for the Conference League games. And, I'm very confident that it's going to help both keepers, and not only that, at least it'll improve the atmosphere in the Chelsea fan base at the very least, because I believe all this just starts from with Robert Sanchez being in goal, because it's no secret, uh, if not 100%, 95% of Chelsea fans, especially those at Stamford Bridge, do not like Robert Sanchez in goal. So I believe it will be of huge, huge help to have Philip Jorgensen in goal for Premier League games and Robert Sanchez for the Conference League games, and it will be a win-win situation for all involved. So back into the game at the back, uh, as I've always mentioned, I do not trust Trevor Chalobah in that back line, let alone Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill is in the team not because of his defensive capabilities, but basically because of his playing out from the back, which is a huge characteristic of a defender that Enzo Maresca wants in his team. Uh, so it will be beneficial that Levi Colwill plays with a more aerially dominant centre back, more of a astute centre back at the back. And if we are being honest, uh, Trevor Chalobah sadly is not that player, because the more and more I see him this season, the more and more I am convinced that he is not what Chelsea Football Club need in the 11, let alone in the squad, because the mistakes that keep on happening with him is like one is generally his aerial ability. When balls come over the top, it's a given that he's going to lose out on that. uh, I remember the Mitoma goal against I think it was Brighton away, where the keeper launched it long, and Trevor Chalobah was able to be taken to a spin by Kaoru Mitoma. and that has happened a few other times also in games that Trevor Chalobah has had. And he was at fault again for the second goal that we conceded. I believe that was the first half. Yeah, when Ipswich made it 2-0, he was at fault for that goal because uh, I have no idea what he was doing in midfield, and him coming into midfield, and Madueke, who also takes part of the blame in this. You see, when Trevor Chalobah went into midfield, the space that was left at the back at his position at right back was too wide. Uh, you could feel like three, opposition players there because the space was too much. Noni was high up the pitch. I have no idea. So I have no idea why Trevor Chalobah came into midfield to attempt to win an aerial battle, and that opened up the space there. Of course, because he lost out on the aerial ball, uh, got turned, and the ball was played to the side where he left, and there were two open players there. They were able to, play the ball to Enciso, who crossed, and uh, Kukurea takes also part of the blame for this because he was beaten in the air by who made it 2-0. But all that could have been avoided, I believe, with if Trevor Chalobah had stayed in his position and it were Tosin who came up to contest the aerial duel. So uh, Trevor Chalobah has to improve on that point, at least as long as he's here. Uh, so he has to improve seriously on that and work on his aerial ability until the end of the season because honestly and truly believe that he'll be sold in the summer, and I believe the incoming Mamadou Sarr is going to take his position in the squad. So that was the second goal. I was very unimpressed with how we defended that goal, let alone even the first one. But I was very encouraged by the comeback. The comeback and the fight back was really good by Chelsea. Well, although it's a point gained, it is more importantly 2 points lost, and we ended up slipping all the way down to sixth. The worrying thing is Aston Villa, who are in seventh, are level on points with us. But the positive is the fact that with Forest also losing at the weekend, that we are only 3 points away from third. So though we may have dangerous, difficult games that we are left with in the Premier League, I trust that because we are in a period of just get the result, just scam your way to a result, scam your way to a win because we are at a stage of the season that we do need wins. So just we've made it a bit more difficult because we've drawn our last two games, and that's given the opportunity to Newcastle to jump above us. And I believe now they've now created they could now go a further 6 points ahead of us because they are 3 points and have another game in hand. Uh, or five because we did gain a point. So I believe we need wins now. We need wins now. The last two draws have not been helpful. Uh, at the end of the season, we may come back, look at those 2 points, and they become crucial because I'm at a point where we should just concentrate on ourselves, ensure we win our games. Unlike other Chelsea fans, uh, I don't believe City are playing that well. So I believe somewhere along their easy run, as people like to say, easy run in quotes, that they're going to drop points somewhere. Same as Aston Villa, same as uh, Forest. They are also going to drop points. So Newcastle too, because uh, another thing that favors Chelsea is the fact that the teams that between that is from third, fourth, and fifth, they all at some point play each other. If I'm not wrong, yeah, they have to play each other, and it's an opportunity for us to catch up ground and use, let us at least help secure Champions League football, and we will, I'm sure we will further end up improving, and that will be an even uh, bigger improvement from what we had last season, finishing sixth. So the target is still there. That is Champions League football and the Conference League, because remember in the Conference League we already have a 3-0 first leg win. So let's finish the job on Thursday, and then we go to Fulham on Sunday and just win the game. It's going to be difficult because we are playing at their ground and they are not an easy nut to crack. But let's just go to Craven Cottage, win the game, and let's move on to the next one, which is Everton at Stamford Bridge. Sorry. So uh, that's it for the video today. I have spoken much. I had a lot to, get out of my chest, and I'm glad I've been able to do that. So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you all tomorrow for the preview of Chelsea versus Legia Warsaw second leg of the Europa Conference League quarterfinals. Bye and have a lovely day.